Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, he, she, they, them, theirs. It's your boy, Honestly Better, Albert. We're gonna be right on freaking time for our appointment today. We're going for the first service for my Kia Forte GT. We're about 6,000 miles, which is the recommended service point for the Kia Forte, but I drive about 100 to 200 miles a day. And I want to make sure I get my oil change done on time. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Albert, you're a mechanic. You know your crap. Why aren't you doing this crap at home? And I'm going to get to that point when we're done at the dealership. Stay tuned. Alright, so we just finished up with the dealership. I was going to try and do one of those sneaky things where I hold the camera like by my stomach and get them so that it looks like I'm not recording them, even though I'm actually recording them. I was going to try and do that, but we did just leave the dealership. I got my new oil change sticker, and any mechanic, I'm sorry, I might have been bad with this once in a while. Why is my sticker so far from the corner of the car? Like, come on. And I always make sure they changed my service interval light, which I accidentally just clicked off of. But that's just some of the things I check when I get my oil change done anywhere else but myself. And it makes it easier just so I know everything's done right. I also like to check my oil level. Probably do it after I do this segment, but now I'm going to talk to you guys about why I take my, why is it focusing on my hat? But I'm going to pretty much talk to you guys about why I take my car to the dealership. At least every other oil change, I'm going to do it. And I probably will stop after a while because I kind of realized that driving to this parking lot so I could do this segment of the video. But I'm going to show you my receipt and my work order from the dealership, and just pretty much go over why I do this once in a while. This guy's looking at me like I'm a freaking nut. So you're walking in the middle of an empty parking lot limping with gray hair. He might be homeless. Anyways, so we're going to get into the work order, and I'll explain why I take my car to the dealership once in a while. So I'm going to try and make sure I edit this or film this in a way I can black out any of my information and the dealership's information. But I think the way he stapled my receipt, it's not bad. So in all, for a standard oil change, and I believe tire rotation, let's see, change oil and filter, rotate tires right there. That's, if you've never looked at an RO before, there's your work to perform. Here's the parts. So he used one filter, cost me $6.50 for the filter, and he used about 5 quarts. I think my car takes about like 4.8 quarts. They round up the 5 quarts, obviously, for $4, 20 bucks. Not too bad for a dealership oil change, just in parts alone and labor. With tax, $67 really isn't bad. Now, I know for like a Mini or BMW oil change, those are close to $120, $150, I believe, if I'm remembering correct. My mom had a Volkswagen that was an $80 oil change at a freaking Merlin's, not even a dealership. So $67 for an oil change at a dealership with a rotate tires really is not bad. Now, the other thing that's nice, and you guys will always see this, but as a technician, there's a little trick to this next sheet. Sometimes you'll get your multi-point inspection sheet. I'm going to try and fold this. I think we'll just rip it. It'll be easier. So, there's a good and a bad with multi-point inspection forms. They try to make it very, very easy for you to see, okay, what is wrong with my car? What do I need to get done? And in a way, it's actually a tool that mechanics, or not mechanics, but shops will use to have you purchase more stuff. Now, this could be looked as a bad thing or a good thing. For example, If we look up here, we have my interior and exterior bulbs, windshield wipers, upholstery. So they might try actually selling me if I have damaged upholstery, which I actually do already. It's not bad. My filters, clutch operation. So if my clutch is wearing, they're gonna mark that. I'm surprised I didn't put green. My car's a manual. Fluids, batteries. We got under vehicle, so they looked at my shocks and suspension, supposedly. My gearbox linkage and stuff, muffler, engine oil, all that stuff, they check it. Now, the good thing about these vehicle inspection forms, you get these anywhere. You get these from a Firestone. But the good thing is, if you get a good mechanic who actually takes the time to make sure they check everything, this can actually save you from some catastrophic failures in the future, or potentially other problems that you could have, especially with the tires. If they actually take the time to measure your tires, it's pretty decent. You can see my brake linings. I don't know why oh yeah, they're rear brakes. Never mind. Brakes are doing pretty decent. I'm surprised. My tire treads are doing pretty decent. I'm surprised. But anyways, the good thing about this is you get a good mechanic who knows what they're looking at and actually checks what they're looking for. You could really prevent some other things. Now, the bad side about this is, for example, windshield wipers. My windshield wipers are obviously pretty good. They're brand freaking new, practically. But even if it's just a little streak, right? Let's say it hasn't rained for 5-6 days. You haven't used your windshield wipers, right? But, oh, you know what? It streaked a little bit, so I'm gonna mark it yellow and say you need windshield wipers. Now, depending on the shop you go to or the mechanic you have, it really just depends on how reputable they are, and if they're really, I call them money suckers, or not. But they'll mark my windshield wipers yellow and say, oh, we will recommend you need windshield wipers soon. Would you want to do this service? And you'll kind of think like, well, you know what, it hasn't rained in a while, and I don't know, yeah, I'll buy it. Or, oh yeah, next oil change. You know what I mean? That's something you kind of have to watch for. I'm not saying it's bad when they start marking crap, but just the stupid little things. Like, for example, a cabin air filter or engine air filter, especially on my car. I mean, to do the cabin air filter, I just pop my glove box off and I push in a little clip and it comes out. My engine air filter is literally 2 clips, it comes out. So it doesn't make sense for me to pay $50 for them to do my 2 filters when I could go to Advanced Auto Parts, get a fine filter for $4 and do it myself. It literally takes 2 seconds. And that's something in a video I want to do is general maintenance you can do yourself that the dealership recommends, that's honestly more beneficial for you to do yourself just because it saves you so much money. I mean, for an oil change, even just looking at the price, so it was $20 for the oil and $6.50 for my filter. Now, they did do a tire rotation, but somewhere, so $33.45, I believe, is the labor they charged me for a $27 oil change. And then they obviously charge you the hazardous materials to recycle their oil and stuff. So in reality, actually I should say labor, yeah, $33.45 on labor. Where, yeah, I can do the oil change myself, but this is my last point on why I take my car to the dealership. So, like I said, my car is a newer car, and I didn't realize this until... So like I said, my car's a newer car, and I didn't realize this until actually I drove here, that when you have a newer car, for example, when the Kia Forte just came out in 2018 to 2019 came out, there was a couple recalls, obviously. Not every car is perfect when it comes out. Like the C8 Corvette, if you do donuts in it, you get a check engine light because it throws off a sensor. Like, nothing is perfect. Cars and their computers haven't really been tested that much for thousands of miles, and stuff goes wrong. And the reason I take my car to the dealership when it's a brand new once in a while, maybe there's a recall. I know Kia almost always has a recall for their airbags once in a while. Same with BMW lately. BMW's been on a nice hot streak with airbag safety issues. I really need to stop looking at my side screen and look at the camera. But recalls is literally the only reason why I'm taking my car to the dealership. Now, another good reason is if you have warranties. You have a check engine light. The car only has 10,000 miles and you bought it 3 months ago. Take it to the dealership. It's under warranty. They can't try to sell you something that honestly isn't your fault. Now, that's another downside to having a sports car. If you want to start modding your car, like I do, eventually, you're going to start voiding warranties. Now, you have to watch on what dealership you take cars to. So let's say you did coilovers or lowering springs, and you did LED lights, for example. This is just an example, right? So now, theoretically, if you go through a manufacturer's description of warranties and what voids them and everything, usually the case is where if you modded a car, if that part is what caused a manufacturer quote-unquote defect or problem, that doesn't count. So, for example, if I did coilovers on my car and I had a check engine light, went to the dealership, and I had a misfire on cylinder 3 caused by a bent valve, and I have 20,000 miles on my car. Kia has a 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. That's something that would be covered. Now, if the dealership says, well, you have coilovers, you voided your warranty, that doesn't make sense. It's not my powertrain warranty. That would be my bumper-to-bumper warranty, and it should theoretically only misfap. So if I had problems with my knuckle, if I did lowering springs, I had a problem with my. If I did lowering springs and I had a problem with my shock absorbers, they won't cover that because the lowering springs could have had an effect on the shock absorbers. That's where you have to watch out. But really, because my car is so new, and, well, it's not new, it's a GT, which I realize, oh, the 1.6 turbo that's in this car has been in the Velosters for a while, and the Kia Forte GT, or the Kia Forte newer model body has also been out for a couple years now. A lot of these warranties or recalls might not even be a thing, and I'm just over my head, but that's really the only reason I bring my car to a dealership. When it comes to oil change, if you don't feel like, I personally don't like doing my own oil changes because then you have to discard the oil, you have to go and drive there, which, it sounds lazy as balls, but it's kind of, it is kind of a pain in the butt just to change some oil. It's much easier to go to I wouldn't say a quick lube, I don't like going to quick lubes, but a reputable service area that's near you and have them do it, because, the dealership, I want to say they screwed me, but it was $33 in labor for a tire rotation, oil change, and I guess inspection. And when you don't know about cars and you don't know what to look for, it does make sense to take a car to a shop or a dealership. But when you're a mechanic and you're ASC certified and you know what to look for, if I start to have a problem with my car, I'm probably going to put it on jack stands, jacks, take the tire off or whatever before I take it to a dealership, especially if it's something I know I can do myself. Stuff is expensive for no reason. I don't even think it tells me on this work order how many hours that this cost. I see nothing about hours. So I don't even know how many hours of labor they even put on it. I don't know what the rate is. I just see that the oil change, I'm looking at it, yeah. The oil change costed me $6.50 plus 20. Hazardous materials, $5, and the $33.45. So, but that pretty much, that's it. That's why I take my car to the dealership. Maybe there's a warranty, maybe there's a recall, just once in a while. And that's the downside of modding a car, a brand new car. You can lose out on recalls and warranties if you mod your car. And that's why I go back and forth about doing anything to this car. Eventually, will I? Probably. I've owned this car for almost 6,000 miles. I've owned it for almost, yeah, so I've owned this car for almost 5 months now. I really love this car, and there's a lot of stuff that I can do to this car that I'll definitely enjoy. And I go back and forth if I'm going to do stuff to it or not, wait. I think it boils down to waiting the 3 years once the lease is up on the car and I buy the car, because it's so cheap to buy the car at my residual value is really cheap. And I'll have a car that would still have warranty if I chose to keep the warranty. And it's a reliable, fun car that I drive and a lot of my friends enjoy, and they are even surprised about how good this car is. But like I said, only a couple thousand miles, or 6,000 miles. I mean, I have been driving a lot more because of Uber and the coronavirus crap. Like, I'm gonna Uber probably after recording this bit. I got my mask ready. But it is what it is, and I do love this car. There's a lot of stuff I could do. I feel like there's a lot of content. It needs a detail, by the way, which is coming soon once Corona's over. But like, for example, in the near future, tints and LED fog lights are coming, and I would not spend the money for ceramic tints and LED fog lights if I didn't love the car. And a radar detector. For all this for a different video, but I really hope you guys enjoyed. Woo! I almost just dropped that camera. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was somewhat informative. At least you guys got to see how much it is to get your Kia Forte GT serviced at a Kia dealership. And hopefully my next video, I do want to do one about stuff that you guys can do at home to save you guys money. I mean, I've just paid $33 in labor for something I easily could have done myself and saved myself $33. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to do some of that stuff at home, the pros and cons of doing that, and hopefully help save you guys some money. So it's been your boy, Honestly Better Albert. Go ahead, click that subscribe button. I got new videos every week, hopefully coming out every week, from tech tips like this one, and reviews, meets, vlogs, and even gonna have some tutorials, like I said, with the Money Saver guide from a mechanic like myself. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Peace out. Click that like, comment down below, suggestions, anything you guys want to see, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.